Hey guys, live. It's a little after 1:15. We'll keep things relatively short, 15, 20 minutes. Unless, once again, we have some good friends pop in uh, and the conversation extends itself through no real effort on our part. Again, I liken conversations like this to an art form. Um, we can consider it, you know, self reflection until people join. And then when they do, it's still self reflection, but now there's participants. It's that greater self, everyone participating, and we see in which way the conversation unfolds and to what benefit, if any. Sometimes the benefit is the thing itself. We don't need an actual um, follow up where we say, my blood pressure was lowered, or I created something beautiful, or whatever. You know, we think in terms of if I do this, this will be the benefit. It doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes the benefit is in the doing. The after effects are a nice bonus. So that's really the whole purpose of yoga. It has an extreme benefit. It leads you towards awakening. It leads you towards enlightenment, samadhi. It's the whole purpose of yoga. And yet, what you find is if you strive for that, if you really push hard, I'm going to get my awakening 30 days of yoga practice. I'll double up. I'll do yoga 3 times a day in 30 days, and I'll make sure that I hit samadhi. But it doesn't work that way. In fact, it's the opposite of how it works, because the more you strive for it, the farther it's going to be. It's always going to elude your reach by just a bit until you realize the reach itself is what it's all about. Just that reach. Because if you're reaching, you are reaching into the infinite. You're reaching into the universe itself. The universe meets you here all the time, nowhere else. So it's human nature, though, to really strive to push. A good teacher actually helps pull you back sometimes. Most of us aren't blessed with that, with a good teacher, at least not at first. Some are. Lots of good books that can guide you through it. Lots of good talks on YouTube that can guide us through the entire practice of yoga. We live in a great age of being able to dive into these world traditions. The problem is all of them are so fascinating, we end up being dabblers. I dabble a bit in Tibetan Buddhism, in the ancient Greek Stoic philosophy, in Vedanta, and non-duality. We dabble. We don't get deep enough in any one thing. There might be something to be said for dabbling. There's a lot to be said for digging that deep, deep well of practice. I have done both. Dabble because, man, it's just fascinating. All these traditions, all these paths, and they all lead to the same place, but they can all be a whole lot of fun to explore. At the same time, I've also, through the use of mantra meditation, have dug a pretty deep well of consistent, constant, same with my yoga practice, decades long practice. And that has done quite a bit. The funny thing is, the thing that deepened the whole thing instantly was the headless way pointing, Douglas Harding. We've talked a bit about this, but I'm not sure I would have gotten it to the extent that I did had I not been on a more traditional path for quite some time. Maybe, maybe not. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because you get it when you get it. And when you do, what you do with it, to me, is what counts. You can get it and then immediately set yourself up as a teacher. I'm going to hold satsang and write books and give talks. But it might be premature. You might be urging people to step off the path before they are ripe, before they're cooked, before they're ready to step off the path. And honestly, you know what? Why step off the path at all? If you enjoy what you're doing, I have a particular YouTube friend who has a rich lineage in the non-duality community. His teacher's teacher was Nisargadatta Maharishi, and he constantly, if I post something or write something on Facebook, well, he was fairly constant, not so much anymore. He'll make an occasional appearance where he urges me to step off the path, to I don't need to meditate, I don't need to do yoga, I don't need to do this or that. And he's absolutely right. Except I absolutely love meditating. I absolutely love doing yoga. I have no intention of stopping just because there was an awakening experience. Now is the time to give up seeking and become an explorer. There's no energy of having to get somewhere, but there is this softness of energy that urges me to just be and dive into these experiences for the sake of the experience itself. I've been taking that approach quite a bit in my burpee practice. I've hit some decent numbers in the Busy Dad 20-minute sessions. I've done some pretty intense workouts doing some of the Iron Wolf sessions, some stuff I made up on my own, some of the genius work of Burpees Maddie. All of them are good. All of them will get you to whichever one you do, or all of them that you do, you can get to a pretty extreme level of fitness. But now seems a point in my training, and this is after, again, not just decades, but a lifetime of trying to achieve specific goals in fitness, from sports orientated to bodybuilding to powerlifting to Olympic lifting to kettlebell sport, and then doing lots of body weight stuff, back to kettlebell sport, ultra running. Everything was based on time and distance and weight and reps. How many? All gave me a great level of fitness, all gave me a lifetime of health and happiness, along with a fairly banged up body at this point in my life. I still like chasing numbers. I will always like chasing numbers. The numbers are going to be different now because I'm 58 plus. I'm not going to be chasing the numbers that I did when I was 20 or 30 or whatever. My cat is here meowing at me, wishing to have a conversation. I would show you the cat, but my floor is dirty. No need to highlight the fact that I haven't vacuumed for a week or so on YouTube. So if you can hear her, she will be having a conversation with us. So yeah, I have no need or desire to chase my 20-year-old numbers of what I probably could have gotten had I been doing high rep burpees back then, or anything. You know, I believe the number was 47. I did 47 pull-ups in a row using straps. I don't remember, it might have been in the high 20s without straps. But, you know, now, when I get 10, that's a good day. 12 is an excellent day. A little bit of an outlier. If I were to dedicate myself in getting more pull-ups, I could probably work up to doing 20 again. And maybe I will. But, you know, I'm going by energy. Not by, you know, not in those terms of lack of energy. I'm just not as energetic as I used to be. I still am, actually. Despite sometimes the aches and pains, the desire to get up every morning and train is ever present. But the drive of having to do more, pushing more, go farther, go faster, get more reps, use more weight, that's pretty much completely gone. It does surface sometimes in a set, which is fine, because then that's my body saying, okay, you earned it, let loose, let's see what you got. And I love doing that in burpees. I love setting a pretty tough pace for the first 5, sometimes 10 minutes, and then backing down, cruising, saving up some time, saving up some energy, and then bam, getting that big finish. How many reps can I get in that last minute, in that last 90 seconds, in that last 2 minutes? That's what my body's telling me to do. The body becomes awakened, same as the mind, because ultimately it's the mind-body, not two things. The mind doesn't awaken and leave the body behind. The body doesn't awaken and leave the mind behind. Did I just say the same thing? Hopefully you guys know what I meant. That's the key. So just listen. Listen to what the body dictates. Don't listen to what someone on YouTube, including me, tells you to do. If you find that right now you feel like pushing for reps, and I come along and say, hey, you don't need to push for reps. Listen to what your body and your mind are urging you to do. Push for reps by all means, if that's what you need. Maybe not need, if that's the desire. Desire is just energy with an intense urge to be expressed. So express it. Do your best. But also be unattached, which is a little different than being detached. Be unattached to the outcome. Go for the reps, but don't worry about how many you get. Just go for them for the sake of going for them. I've mentioned this before countless times. If you didn't count, for one, you wouldn't know the difference between 110 Navy SEALs and 112 Navy SEALs, or 115 Navy SEALs, or 120 Navy SEALs. You would just know the effort. Was it a good effort? Did I give it my best? Could I have done better? Did I want to do better? Really, none of that's a concern. Just dive into the set. Do what each moment dictates, however it's dictated, be it holding a steady pace, be it sprinting it out, whatever. And then leave it behind. I'm always struck by the tradition in wrestling, leaving your shoes on the mat after your very last match of your career, whatever that might be. Honestly, every burpee session is the very last burpee session we're ever going to have. Of course, we show up and we do the next one, but with a completely different body, completely different mind, another spontaneous arising right here, right now, fresh set. So leave your burpee shoes, or if you're the the burpee artist formerly known as Barefoot Burpees. Leave your bare feet, leave your socks behind, and call it a day until the next spontaneous arising, and you find yourself on that burpee mat ready to dive in again. Same with yoga, same with meditation. We don't judge this was a great meditation session, this was a bad meditation. It was a meditation session, and you got exactly what you needed to get from it. And that includes the things that you walk away with, be it whatever's going on in the mind or whatever isn't going on in the mind. All right, guys, so it is going on, I'm just sitting 16 minutes. It does not appear that we will have some burpee friends pop in. I should invite sometime some of my non-duality meditation friends. They would definitely wish for a debate, and I'm not sure I'm really up for debates any longer. I'm perfectly happy my own thing, however it is, and I'm perfectly willing and happy to, they have their own thing, however that is. We don't need to experience it the same way, and we shouldn't. Why should we? So with that said, let's call it a day. I will see you guys in the morning for, I think it's going to be a supercharged session. Maybe some dips, maybe some pull-ups. We'll see. In either case, we'll find out in the morning together. Take care, guys.